What's going on, all you Minties? This is the Uncanny Omar.
Miss Lydia.
And Astonishing Melanie.
And today, the three of us are doing overviews of these recent manga from Yen Press.
So stay tuned. Welcome back, Minties. And before getting started, thank you to the folks at Yen Press for sending us these lovely books.
And if you want to jump around, if any of these pique your interest, I do put the timestamps in the description of the video. So, both Miss Lydia and Astonishing Melanie are helping me today with these books. You all have been reading a lot of manga. So we've got 7 books to talk about.
I want to go first.
Okay, we're going to let Astonishing Melanie go first. There's no letting. She gets to do whatever she wants.
Are you captivated by this cover of Captivated by You? Well, I was, because this is the manga that I chose to read. And it is the hardcover. The only hardcover of this batch of manga in the video. This is a 1-volume story. It's self-contained. It does not continue, by Yama Wayama, which I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. And it's kind of split in half. We got a couple of dudes here that somebody or multiple people are captivated with them. Okay, so we got Hayashi is in the first few stories, and he's my favorite. This guy is very strange, eclectic, and unique, and he doesn't care what people think about him counting stairs. Let's see, later he dries sweet potatoes out on the balcony. He's reading a book in class about how to survive bears. And this guy, he's like, judging him. He's like, he's so stupid, he's so weird. But then they become friends, and then he even thinks he's adorable, and then he's in denial. He's like, no, he's not. It's just the panda. But he felt really good that this individual, this very unique person, came to visit him with the panda suit on. Okay, then it goes on to the next story where this is really cool with social media, how she's communicating with this guy, and they finally meet, and it's him, Hayashi. So in the next story, it's really cool. This girl is wanting to meet somebody that she's been talking to through social media, and it ends up being Hayashi. And that he uses pictures of signs and puts the words all together to post on social media. So I thought that was really cool. And of course, it's the meet cute. And then for some reason, he doesn't want to talk to her, and et cetera, et cetera. So very slice of life, but with odd individuals. Then we have the second half, Akira. I'm going to call him by his first name because I don't think I can pronounce his last name. Akira, he looks like he's cursed, that I do believe that's him on the cover, that he always has a dour, sour face, and nobody wants to talk to him. Of course, this guy's like, I want to see what's up with him and get him to laugh, to talk to me. And it's cool, because when he eventually does, he has a really pretty smile, and he's like, yeah, I want to see you smile more often. We get a backstory as to... Oh, wait, there's the smile. There we go. We get a backstory as to why he made himself into this antisocial person. So, like I said, this is self-contained, and I enjoyed the characters in it. Thank you guys for letting me go first.
All right, Lydia. Our turn. What in the world am I looking... This title is so ridiculous. I'm the Catlords Manservant. Ironically, it's by Ratki Tasuni. Rat. I'm talking about a cat. Anyway, that's a fat cat. It's adorable. But what am I looking at? Who is this on this cover?
That is the main character, Yuki Haru.
Okay. So what is the premise of this particular title? What is going on?
Basically, Yuki Haru's parents, died. And...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's already bad enough. But then, he's deciding, because he's still kind of young. Mm-hmm. So he's like, oh, I have to go find a relative to live with, but then his house gets, destroyed, basically.
Oh, okay.
So then, he receives, a letter from his deceased father, the dad didn't write it when he's dead, but, obviously before he died.
Mm-hmm.
And inside it is a key, and, written on it's, use this, when times are bad, or something like that. And he's like, oh boy, I hope it's a cute girl that allows me to stay with her. And it ends up being a bunch of dudes that can turn into cats.
So, oh my gosh, each one of these guys are cats.
Yeah.
And he's the only one that cannot turn into a cat.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a continuing story. This is volume 1. I think there's up to 3 volumes that are coming out so far in America. This one here has 198 pages. Wait, do they stay in cat form, or do they try to... Are they cats that transform into humans, or the other way around? Do they happen to be humans that transform into cats?
I'm pretty sure it's cats that transform into humans, but, I mean, like, I'm pretty sure that's it. And so, most of the time you see them rather being a cat or human, but, like, that character named Akira, sometimes he has, like, the little cat ears and cat tail.
Okay, so it's what's interesting. The concept of a house full of cats that can turn into boys. And do they try to get jobs? Are they in school? What are they trying to...
They're in school, basically.
And the school just lets them in? Anyway.
Oh, well, one of them's actually, like, a sort of adult, I guess, like...
Oh, okay. Older than the other ones.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a cute little book. Next up, we have Cirque du Freak. And I remember reviewing the very first one from Yen Press when it came out. Do you know that this was based on a series of books?
No.
Like, so the books came out like Harry Potter, right? Like those type of books, series of unfortunate events. And then they made it into a manga. And this is by Darren Shawn, and the artwork is by Takahiro Arai. So, what is the premise of this book, Lydia? What's going on in Volume 3? Who is this character? What is Cirque du Freak? Oh, that's a cool picture.
Basically, the main character is a little boy named Darren. Mm-hmm. And basically what happened, and I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, but there's this guy named Mr. Crepsley, who basically turns into a half vampire, but by the vampire law, that's illegal, basically. And Darren wants to restore this guy's honor, so he has to undergo these 5 trials, the trials of initiation, to restore the guy's honor. So some of their trials, like, there's one of them where he's, like you see right here, he's placed in a maze, and the water is filling up the maze, but he's also tied down by a rock, and he has to escape the maze. Okay, so he has to go through certain trials. Yeah, so it's basically to become, like, a full vampire. Ah, okay. So who are the other characters that are in the background? Like, are they all vampires, or what's that? I'm pretty sure they're all vampires, like, or at least definitely not human.
Okay, so they all have some kind of other abilities. I remember the first one having other characters other than vampires. So this one here retails for $24. It is a lot bigger than the other ones. This one's 386 pages, and it's a continuing series. There's a volume 4 that's out already, but this is volume 3 of Cirque du Freak. And so I guess if you're familiar or fan of the books, you would definitely check out the manga. But it is done in the traditional right to left format. Next up is Sasaki and Miyano, and this is by Sho Harasuno. And this right here says, BL ship request denied. Alright. This one I ended up reading because of my good friend TikTok Tina. Told her I would read this. She's a huge fan of this genre, the BL genre. And what I wanted to say at first is that I find it interesting that Yen Press has been doing this, has been printing some of the pages on the actual opposite side of the front cover. So, and they're doing that in the back as well from time to time. Not on all their manga, but I've just noticed it on this one and a couple of the ones that Miss Lydia reviewed. The color pages are printed on this glossy paper, while the black and white pages remain on this matte paper. So, this story is pretty simple. It's about these two main characters, Sasaki and Miyano. And I'm sorry, I pointed at the wrong. This is Sasaki, this is Miyano. Sasaki's more of a daydreamer that's got a crush, and Miyano is a huge fan of BL, but is also oblivious to things going on. And it's not just about them, but it's also their friends. And, by the way, BL stands for Boy Love. I finally found out what that meant because of Tina. And I also found out what shipping was because of Tina. So, in case you don't know what some of the terms or some of the things that they do throughout this manga are, all you gotta do is come here to the translation notes. And here are all the different pages that you'll see some words you may not be familiar with, or perhaps some traditions that are only found in Japan, but they're all broken down here. And then, in case you get confused with the main characters, here's all 5 of the main characters that are all found in this particular book. And this one here retails for $13, but I find the page count to be thin. Like, it's only 136 pages. And of the story, it's only about 120 pages of the story. But this is what the artwork looks like. All these boys are pretty, which, according to my daughter and all her friends, that's exactly the kind of thing that they want to see. And this, yeah, there's no, how do I put it, supernatural things going on in here. All the translations of the sound effects are done within the panels. So sometimes they actually translate, like, if a character is speaking a sound effect, but 9 times out of 10, the actual translations of the sound effects are done within the panel, like so.
So even before I read this, I really loved the color, like, cover of it. Like, of course, obviously, I love the colors too, but, you know, like, it kind of reminds me of a Studio Ghibli film, like, just,
oh yeah,
like, cherry little blossoms falling around.
It is a pretty cover.
Two
like
anime guys.
2 anime guys. Honestly, it kind of reminds me a little bit of, like, what is it, 5 centimeters per second. I cannot remember the name of the anime. The guy that makes those movies, like Voices of a Distant Star, things like that. Alright, so this is I Cannot Reach You, Volume 1 by Mika. Mika's the creator, or the mangaka, rather. Here's your table of contents. And what is this about? What is I Cannot Reach You about?
Basically, it's about these 2 boys. One of them is named Kakeru. He's the one that you see with the lighter hair. And the other one is Yamato.
Okay.
And they've been friends for a while, you know. And basically, this is kind of just like a slice of life manga. Kakeru wants to get closer to Yamato, but, you know, Yamato's just kind of distant, like, not very much distant, but, you know, you can still tell that he doesn't talk to other people except for Kakeru.
Okay.
Like, you know, he's just distant from humanity. And
oh, he's a loner.
yeah, basically, this is just slice of life. Like, nothing, there's no, like, anime fights, nobody's dying, it's just people having fun together.
Sometimes you need that. And that is one thing that I do appreciate about manga, is the fact that you can escape to a fantasy world that has no fantastical elements, that it's just, you know, people going to school, but they're different people than you, right? And through them, you know, you get to live. I think it's so cool. And then, you know, honestly, independent comics started doing that as well in the 80s and 90s. And are starting, not as much as manga. Obviously, manga has a ton of different variety when it comes to slice of life, but it is nice to see that it's happening here in the Western world. Now, this one has 186 pages and retails for $13. King of Eden, Volume 3. This one's thick. This is a biggie. This one also retails for $24, and this wraps up the series of King of Eden. This one has 480 pages. We start off with some color pages. And let's see here. How do I explain this? Because this is about just government agencies as well as military trying to fight against this thing called the wolf virus that's going around. And it is turning people into wolves. And we have this character here from the front cover, TZU. And he's hired out to do some things up against these people that have turned into these, how do I put it, wolf-like creatures. There's also a wolf king in here. There are references to perhaps Vlad the Impaler, coming to help out and that's kind of where things have led them. But the artwork in this is completely phenomenal. It seems like in this conflict with the wolves, I've only read this, by the way. I haven't read volumes 1 and 2, and I need to, because I feel like a lot more things will be explained through those volumes. But I figured I could just jump in here. This is enough volume, and I've read enough manga that I know if I read volume 15 of something, I don't get that confused. Yeah, I was a little confused in this one. So I strongly suggest finding volumes 1 and 2. All 3 are still in print. This is what the phenomenal artwork looks like. I love it. It is very detailed. This is written by Takashi Nagasaki, and the artist is Ignito. And I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's like Ignite, but with an O. There's a lot of flashbacks here, like Tese, or Tese, I believe is how you pronounce it, and the children of Saturday turn to the past. So there's a lot of flashbacks done here for some answers on how they can help all these people out without having to resort to actually mowing them down and murdering them. So that's the only thing that gives mankind hope, is that they're able to find the answers. But this is what some of the creatures look like. Now, I really enjoyed this one. This was my favorite read of all the Yen Press books out this particular batch that we've been reviewing on the channel. But yeah, this one had detailed artwork. The story kicked off badass at the beginning. Like, it was fast paced. Kind of slowed down towards the end, and I feel like the ending itself, I'm not gonna show anything from back there because those are some big spoilers. The ending itself, I don't know if it's enough of a conclusion. If I had been following this from volume 1, I kind of want to read it all again, including this volume instead of just having read this volume. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and mainly due to the just dynamic artwork. I think it really works for the tone of this particular story. So if you're looking for something outside of that slice of life, which is what most of the books that we've been talking about in this particular batch have been about, then this is definitely one that I recommend, and the one that I enjoy the most.
So, out of all the reads, this one was my favorite.
This one here, and this one is retailing for $22, and it almost has 400 pages. It's like 392 pages. Mm-hmm. This is The Whole of Humanity Has Gone Yuri, except for me. Interesting title. So, this is... What am I looking at here? This is Marika?
Marika, yeah. She's the main character. And basically, she's had a normal life. Like, she has a boyfriend and stuff like that. And then one day, she's, like, just kind of walking around. And then she sees her 2 best friends kissing each other. Mm-hmm. So, and, like, they had, like, boyfriends. And so she's extremely confused of why they're kissing. Okay. And then they act natural, like, yeah, we're kissing. Okay. And then she's just obviously extremely confused of what's happening.
Is it my imagination, or does something else feel off this morning? So this is really the title. Like, is it... Okay, so obviously it's not just her friends.
Yeah, it's like the entire world.
The entire world. Okay, so then what happens to the boys?
Basically... I also find this cool because it's not just like, yay, we're gonna make girls fall in love. It's like, it has like an actual story. Mm-hmm. I find very interesting. Like, you get to learn a little later on that there's like this kind of disease that killed off all men.
Oh my gosh! Why do we get the short end of the stick all the time?
But like,
I don't speak for all men. Just me. Go ahead.
But then, like, women ended up creating like a way so that people could still be born. So they're like, we're not gonna just be wiped out.
Wow. So, okay, without going into spoilers, is this an alternate reality, or is this something that is really happening and she has to fix it? How would you describe this without, like I said, without a spoiler?
Basically, it's not really a spoiler, but I think it's kind of obvious that this isn't her regular world.
Okay, so it's almost like an isekai. She gets transported to another world.
Yeah, and also I find interesting, like, she points out that, like, her little brother, like, now he's a girl. Like, men, like, from her universe have been, like, replaced by other girls.
We're being replaced and killed off? Oh, man. Okay, this is... I love the art in this. This is the type of artwork that lures me into a state of false security, if you will. Like, sometimes it can go either way, right? It can stay cutesy and lovable, or it can go really dark. Like, talking about, like, Madoka, like, Magica, what is it, Madoka? Magica? But things like that. But I really, really like the art style in this. So this one here is rated teen. Do you have any problem reading this, or any of the books for that matter?
No, like, I guess it's why it's rated teen. It's like, there's like one part like where she has her clothes off, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't show anything like that bad.
Okay. Not like Unlock Dead. What was that book that we reviewed?
Undead Unlock.
Unlock. Yeah, but that was funny. Okay, so this one here, my goodness, the page count is huge, and this is your favorite one, huh?
Yeah, I liked reading this.
All right, now say it with me, and that, as they say,
is that.
Good job.
If you're interested in any of these books, check out our sponsor,
cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They pride themselves on packaging your books so they arrive safely and in excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. Check out the bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. CGN is excited to announce that they are now taking pre-orders. They're making it easier for you to ensure that you don't miss out on the hottest releases. CGN is currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, let them know that you were referred by Near Mint Condition at the checkout, and you'll receive a credit for free shipping on your next order. This promotion is valid for U.S. customers only. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount and quality shipping and customer service that will keep you coming back for more.
And that's it. That was the page count and overview of each of these books from Yen Press.
Let us know in the comments down below if you're picking any of these up, if you've never heard of any of these and any of you piqued your interest. So if you have any questions, ask your questions down below.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit like. It goes a long way. Subscribe, and as always, stay minty.
Stay minty.